5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Shots fired on Spruce Street, hitting close to home for downtown residents.
A gunshot had gone through their apartment unit.
Tonight, the growing concerns in a popular entertainment district.
It's been 14 days since we've had measurable rainfall at the airport. Things have gotten dry. We need rain back in the forecast. We got good news. Showers and storms are expected. I'll detail that out in your forecast coming up.
Our top story, reflecting on recovery 1 week after a devastating explosion.
I don't know how it's going to recover. You know, people are underinsured, and what are they going to do?
Support keeps pouring in across North County as neighbors lean on each other in the wake of last week's explosion. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson has the night off. 7 days after the devastating blast, families in North County are still picking up the pieces and searching for answers. Our Brent Solomon is just back from the Sunland Hills neighborhood. Brent?
Well, Mike, the hard reality is some families have no homes to return to. They're no longer standing. In other cases, the structures aren't safe to live or even enter. So many others have some type of damage as the cleanup continues. An unexpected explosion, causing 2 other homes to catch fire. A teenager suffering burns covering more than 20% of his body. Each day, new stories.
She was in the house, and the roof fell down where she was, and she knocked the window out to get out of the house. And the house burned down, they said, in like 15 minutes.
Bill Cooey is referring to his neighbor, whose home is no longer standing on Belcroft Drive. He and his wife were out of state at the time.
We were anxious for a few days.
They just returned Monday to find they too are among the many neighbors here with some type of damage. Ceilings have caved in, insulation and bricks now inside of homes, debris and boarded up windows visible a week later. While authorities have said at least 20 homes are damaged, one neighbor believes it's double that amount.
Hopefully, we can get the cost for rebuild the house.
Wayne Zing had a renter who was inside sleeping. He managed to get out.
They in a hotel. They have renters insurance, so they covered for a few months by their own, renter insurance.
Councilwoman Shalonda Webb saying the community came together as we always do, donating food, supplies, toiletries, and clothing. We provided hot meals multiple times last week, she said. With the help of county police, Blackjack Fire, Faith Church, and neighbors, we have been able to show up for each other.
It's a disaster. I mean, for us and for the whole neighborhood, I don't know how it's going to recover.
Such a long road ahead. Investigators have ruled out foul play as they continue to pinpoint the cause. Councilwoman Webb says look out for details on a weekend cleanup event come Saturday to help out all of the people still removing debris from their properties.
This week, you can help the young man who walked through fire to survive that explosion. Dante Anthony is still recovering with burns over 85% of his body. On Wednesday, Happy Hour Bar and Grill is partnering with Bud Shack to host a fundraiser for Dante. All proceeds from sales that evening will go directly to Dante's recovery. You can find other ways to donate in the As Seen on TV section on KSDK.com. Well, it was a beautiful Labor Day weekend in the bi-state. Hopefully you took advantage. Meteorologist Lance Blocker joins us now with the weather impact forecast. And Lance is tracking some rain this week.
Yeah, it's about time because it's been a while since we've had that rain. We were talking about that earlier. 14 days now. This is associated with that chance of rain. This is a severe threat. You can see, obviously, it's mostly off to our west from the Storm Prediction Center. I would not be surprised, looking at the latest data, to see some of this level 1 threat push into our region. Again, that's for a cold front on Wednesday. I'm going to go over that in detail here in just a few moments, but let's check out current conditions right now. For us, we're in the 70s, of course, falling through the 70s. We'll see lows through the 60s If you look out to the west, so you can see this big complex of showers, isolated and scattered showers, and a few storms mixing in there too. This is associated with a system that will not really impact us. It's going to continue to dive southeastward, bringing clouds to our region tomorrow, but no rain. The air at the surface is very dry. But tomorrow, again, we'll see the clouds. We'll see a warming trend as we move through the afternoon hours, of course, too. Tomorrow's forecast similar to today, with highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s. You can see 81 degrees for us here in town. But we warm up on Wednesday with highs back in the mid 80s with that chance of storms. And again, I'll go over that in detail coming up here in a little over 10 minutes.
New tonight, St. Louis police investigating a deadly shooting in North St. Louis. A man was killed about 4 hours ago near the 4400 block of Marcus Avenue. That's in the Penrose neighborhood. We're working to get more information about suspects and what led up to this shooting. The St. Louis Police Department says murders are down in the city so far this year. According to SLMPD, officers have investigated 90 homicides as of yesterday. That's fewer than the 109 reported by this time in each of the last 2 years. The city's deadliest recent year was 2020, when 187 people were killed, the highest total in more than 3 decades. By contrast, the lowest mid-year numbers came in 1998, 2000, and 2013, when 71 homicides had been recorded at this point in the year. Tonight, a downtown apartment complex is on edge after a bullet shattered a sliding glass door overnight. It happened just steps from some of the city's busiest bars, raising new questions about safety in places where people live, work, and spend their weekends. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski talked with a concerned neighbor at the 11th and Spruce apartments and their alderwoman, Laura.
Mike, St. Louis police say there weren't any injuries reported. However, these residents are getting even more worried after these problems have hit so close to home. St. Louis police say just after midnight on Labor Day, officers responded to the 11th and Spruce apartments after someone heard a loud pop and their glass patio doors shattered. Officers say they found shell casings outside the apartment building and took them into evidence. A resident who reached out to us wanted to remain anonymous for his safety.
And when I walked out onto my balcony this morning, I was able to see all of the broken glass down there. There's been no communication from our property manager about that, but it is a holiday.
Police say they are currently conducting a forensic review to see if the weapon has been used in other shots fired incidents across the city, in hopes it may lead them to whoever pulled the trigger. SLMPD Director of Public Affairs Mitch McCoy said in a statement any type of gun crime is concerning, and District 4 commanders will work closely with SLMPD's crime analysis on a possible operational plan to address any potential issue. The resident says over the last few months they've seen an increase in disturbances outside their building and Wheelhouse Bar next door.
Typically when Wheelhouse closes, which is at 3 a.m., between the hours of about 1 to 3 a.m., sometimes even to 4 a.m., there's pretty loud car engine noises and drag racing that happens around the property here. And then it's pretty common that there's large crowds that are gathering between 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
On New Year's Day, an off-duty officer from St. Francis County working security at the bar shot and killed a person after a large fight outside the bar. The resident says all of this combined has them even more worried than before.
Knowing that there's exchange of gunfire happening on the streets and that a bullet could so easily enter and do that type of damage to the unit definitely raises, I think, concerns about safety. And that obviously goes beyond just annoyance of cars revving engines.
Ward 8 Alderwoman Jamie Cox Antwi sent a statement saying, quote, "The city is aware of the increased nuisance activity near late-night entertainment venues. The safety of downtown residents is a priority, and we're working closely with law enforcement to address these ongoing concerns." I reached out to the public relations specialist for Wheelhouse, and I also reached out to the property management agency and did not hear back tonight. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Tonight, police are searching for a Jefferson County woman after her husband was found dead inside their Dittmer home over the weekend. Deputies went to the home on Canyon Lane Saturday afternoon for a welfare check on the couple. They found 60-year-old Robert Malcolm dead. His wife, Stacy J. Malcolm, was nowhere to be found. Investigators have not said how he died, but do say his death is being investigated as a homicide. They also haven't clarified whether his missing wife is a suspect or a victim. If you have any information, you are asked to call the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office at 636-797-5515. It's a comeback story that's nothing short of unbelievable. Tonight, for the very first time, we hear from 13-year-old Cody Trenkle, the Missouri teenager who survived 3 days at the bottom of a ravine in St. Francis County. He is now out of the hospital. 5 on Your Side's Megan Kernan brings us Cody's message for others.
See, going back was the good part.
It's been more than a month since 13-year-old Cody Trenkle vanished about half a mile away from his home near Goose Creek Lake, falling off his skateboard and tumbling 240 feet down into a ravine. For nearly 80 hours, his family and volunteers never gave up hope.
Well, I can't really remember what happened after I fell off. All that I really know is that I flew off the board. But it was the grass's fault, man. It wasn't my fault.
More than 3 days later, a K-9 named Daryl found Cody lying in a foot of water. He suffered severe brain bleeding, pneumonia, and deep wounds.
A little crazy, because I'm like, there's no physical way. But then also I feel like she should be playing Where's Waldo, so she could have found me earlier, man.
After being airlifted to St. Louis, Cody spent 11 days in a medically induced coma.
Man, I wanted to leave the second I woke up from the coma. So I was just determined to get home so much that I just did whatever they needed me to do to get there.
With his resilience and his mom, Stephanie Neely, who never left his side, Cody proved what a fighter he is. Once again.
For somebody to go through what he went through and a month later be able to walk out of the hospital and have the mindset that he does and have, very minimal effects from the accident is truly inspiring.
His family says the moment he opened his eyes was nothing short of a blessing. Before he was released from the hospital Friday, he climbed this rock wall 4 times.
And he said, all I know is I survived, and that's the best part, and that's my new motto.
Now Cody's finally back home, walking, smiling, playing football with his family, and most of all, grateful.
Can't physically run, can't jog, can't ride bikes, can't do anything much until the back of my head heals.
Cody says he's determined to get back on a skateboard one day. This time with new rules.
Wear helmets.
Megan Kernan, 5 on Your Side.
Cody's family says while his head injury will take at least 6 months to heal, his determination and sense of humor is helping him beat the odds every day.
Clearing up the confusion on no tax on overtime.
They're looking and they're saying, hey, wait a minute, I'm still being taxed on this.
The reason you won't see the payoff on your paycheck.
The next couple of days will remain dry across the region, but that long advertised cold front is on its way. It's going to arrive to our region by the middle of this week. Coming up next, we'll detail that out in your forecast.
We are following breaking news right now. St. Louis police investigating a shooting involving a juvenile in North St. Louis. Police were called to a gas station near the corner of MLK and Clara Avenue about an hour ago. We're told an adult drove the child there. Investigators say another adult is not cooperating with authorities. Police have not provided an exact condition of the child, but they do tell us they're stable. We'll bring you any updates on this breaking news on air on KSDK.com and the 5+ streaming app. Hundreds of St. Louis workers used Labor Day to protest. They rallied against the overturning of guaranteed paid sick leave and a minimum wage increase. The group also protested the plan to redraw Missouri's congressional maps. Governor Mike Kehoe has called a special session for this week, arguing the red state of Missouri wants a Republican-controlled House. This is all part of a nationwide battle for an edge in next year's midterm elections.
It's a violation of the Voting Rights Act, and there's this constant effort to undermine majority-minority district. So if they do it over there, to me, it's nothing more than a test to do it over here.
The special session begins on Wednesday. Missouri Democrats can try to filibuster. However, Republicans can block that by using the same rare procedural maneuver they used to pass an abortion amendment earlier this year. Some in Chicago spent the holiday in the Workers Over Billionaires protest. Protesters gathered to express anger over the Trump administration's policies on workers' rights. They also show their opposition to President Trump's proposed National Guard deployment in the city. The president has argued the move would help curb violent crime in Chicago, just as it did in Washington, D.C. The Chicago mayor has already signed an order preventing Chicago police from helping federal authorities. President Trump has made good on his campaign promise to eliminate taxes on overtime. The benefits are retroactive and apply all the way back to the beginning of 2025, but that doesn't mean you'll see the money right away. Allison Gormley explains what this could mean for you.
As with most laws, there are limits and exclusions. No tax on overtime is no different. First, it applies only to federal tax. You'll still pay state and local taxes. The portion excluded from federal tax is only the half of your time and a half. So if you earn $20 an hour and your overtime pay is $30, that $10 is where you'll see the savings. If you're looking for an immediate change to your paycheck, you won't see it.
They're looking and they're saying, hey, wait a minute, I'm still being taxed on this. You're not really being taxed on it, you're being taxed on the income you're bringing in. You'll be able to write off the extra portion at tax time.
Shelley Rosales-White said the benefit will show up when you file your return and only for W-2 workers.
Wait for your W-2 because a lot of people like to jump the gun and bring their last paycheck stubs. It may not be on there.
The maximum annual deduction is $12,500. The deduction also phases out for people with an adjusted gross income over $150,000 and $300,000 for joint filers.
That was Allison Gormley reporting. The IRS should release more guidance soon. This new law expires at the end of 2028 unless Congress extends it. A big thank you to everyone who donated to our annual MDA Show of Strength. The Labor Day weekend tradition lit up Grant's Farm last night with help from our amazing crew and my co-hosts. And of course, thanks to Grant's Farm, the families, and especially you, our generous viewers, for making it such a success. You can see it. The 2-hour live event raised more than $190,000. Every dollar staying here at home to support local kids and adults, our friends and neighbors living with muscle diseases. By the way, the entire telethon is available to watch anytime on demand on the 5+ streaming app. For information on downloading the app, text the word plus to 314-425-5355. Scott has this Labor Day off. Meteorologist Lance Blocker rejoins us now with the weather impact forecast, and he's tracking those storms later in the week.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy a nice couple of days here, quiet, but those storm chances do increase by the middle of the week. In fact, for tonight, we'll see a few clouds rolling through the region. Tomorrow, we could see a little bit more sunshine than clouds, more so than we saw today even. But then that strong cold front arrives on Wednesday. That's what's going to set us up for showers and storms. A look at the National Service map shows this one disturbance off to the west. That's not going to do anything for us except bring clouds in. But as we look off to the north, there it is, that cold front way up there, still in Canada. That's what's going to bring the chance for showers and storms on Wednesday. In the meantime, though, tomorrow morning, mid-60s, the cloud cover fairly dense. Then as we reach the afternoon hours, a little bit more sunshine than clouds, perhaps with highs right around 80 degrees. Again, we stay dry for tomorrow. Then we'll keep an eye on this front. This is by Wednesday at noon. See the front well off to the northwest still, but as we move through the afternoon and evening hours, that should make its way down to our region. It's a fairly strong cold front, so if it has enough moisture in place, it should spark showers and storms across the region. By Thursday, that system is now out of our area. We are drying out, but we're going to enjoy the cool weather behind it. Check this out. So if we're in front of it, 81 tomorrow. Mid-80s, we call that prefrontal warming, where it actually bumps up a little bit more. 86 degrees, the cold front is still off to the northwest. Cold front moves through. 74 for Thursday. That means dew points in the 50s, which means a very comfortable afternoon. If you can be outside, take advantage of it because it's going to be great. But I will say this, 79 on Friday. Another weak cold front moves through, maybe an isolated shower on Friday. Next weekend, though, is looking great. Let's go and check it out. A little bit more detail here. You can see that second cold front again moving through on Friday. That best rain chance will be Wednesday night. It says 60% on there right now. If you've got afternoon plans to be outside, keep those intact. I don't think the showers and storms arrive until after 4 or 5 o'clock. But again, a few of those could be on the stronger side. Don't expect anything big in terms of severe weather potential. But the nice change again, fall temperatures return right after that front.
And we do need the rain.
No
All
doubt.
right, Lance, thanks. Frank Cusimano is here with sports.
Mike, Bill Belichick had a disastrous opening night. The Cardinals' afternoon was not much better, but we do have a sportscast with JJK and Gary Player. Stick around. It's a slam dunk as to what is the most fascinating story in sports tonight. A man who spent 50 years coaching the NFL is now coaching in North Carolina. That man is 73-year-old Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach ever. North Carolina is nothing special. This is like the Pope coming to be a priest at Our Lady of the Pillar School. Is this really real, the hoodie at the University of North Carolina? And the opening drive was a thing of beauty. It was punctuated by this 8-yard touchdown run by Caleb Hood. Michael Jordan, Roy Williams, and LT thinking, we got our man. And girlfriend Jordan Hudson says, that's my man. But TCU scored 41 unanswered points, and they're blowing the Tar Heels out of the state of North Carolina. It's 48-14 with less than 2 minutes to play. On to baseball. The Oakland A's have lost 90 or more games the last 3 years. They are in last place again this season. But if you look at their talent, they're actually better than the Cardinals. Fourth inning, we are scoreless. J.J. Bleday smashes one to right, and the A's led it 2-0. Just 2 pitches later, Zach Geloff hits it in almost the same place off Sonny Gray, and the A's led it 3-0. The Cardinals' most dynamic offensive player is Ivan Herrera. And look at this one, 418 feet. And yes, in Big Mac land, his 12th. But the A's just punish Gray. Here's another homer by Bleday, 6 innings, 10 hits, and 7 runs. The A's coast to an 11-3 victory.
It leaves you a little, not baffling because you kind of know what happened, but at the same time a little more frustrating because you did feel like you had some decent stuff and weren't able to do anything with it.
Look at not just Sonny, our staff in general. We don't have a ton of swing and miss in zone. You're facing a team that is they are the most aggressive team as far as swing rate and they got guys with some pretty good power.
Today was the 3rd annual Jackie Joyner-Kersee 5K run and walk. About 300 people participated right on the same track that the Enjoy Illinois 300 will be run this weekend. WWWT Raceway has always supported Jackie's foundation.
We got simulators where our young people can go and see, different raceways across the world. But more importantly, they're learning about not just the driver perspective, but learning about pit crew, and then also they have support our gala, they have support all the things that we do.
We play Hit and Run on Mondays with celebrities, and they don't come any bigger than Hall of Famer Gary Player. Tom Stasiak is our editor. Strangest thing you've ever autographed?
Well, it's I hate to mention this on TV, but it was the top of a woman's breast.
He pauses in a momentary prayer of gratitude. Gary Player has won the Open.
If you are playing 18 holes today, what do you shoot at age 89?
73.
Yes, for Player. Yes, for Gary Player.
What do you think you would have done with your life if there were not a thing called golf?
I would have been a school teacher to help mold young people's characters.
You can pick any golfer in history to be your teammate in match play. Who do you choose?
I take Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus.
Tiger and Jack, they're both age 30. Who do you pick at their best?
Ty.
Whose golf swing were you envious of?
Oh, the greatest golf swing ever, without a question, is Ben Hogan.
The most famous non-golfer that you've played golf with?
Donald Trump.
Favorite all-time course?
Pine Valley and St Andrews in Scotland.
How about the amount of push-ups you're doing?
Yesterday I was pushing 300 pounds with my legs at 90. Still doing lots of sit-ups, running the treadmill at over 10. So I still work out very hard.
What would you want somebody to say about Gary Player's life?
I would like him just to say that he was a good human being. He loved people, because I'm a great believer in love, and contributed to society and helped change the lives of people that were struggling, because I know what it was like to struggle.
And when he won at Belle Reve, he gave away that purse to charity, and I think that's one of the big reasons why golf gives so much to charity. He started it. He really did.
73, he's shooting at age almost 90. That's unbelievable.
It's insane.
Frank, thank you. The Powerball jackpot up to $1 billion. That's B with billion, right? B starts with a B. find out if you're a winner next. Just minutes ago, the Powerball numbers were drawn to see if anyone will get the $1 billion prize. It's the 5th largest prize in the game's history. Lottery officials say your chance of winning is 1 in 292 million. So let's check those tickets. Tonight's winning numbers are 8, 23, 25, 40, 53, and the Powerball is 5. Lance and Frank are still here, so they didn't win, but Lance does have a final check of the weather impact forecast.
Yeah, we can get excited about this part too. We have rain back in the forecast here. You can see that on Wednesday. If you look at the 60%, that can deter you from anything outside. That's mainly going to be after 4 or 5 o'clock. So you got daytime plans to be outside. Keep those in play. Enjoy the nice weather behind it with highs in the mid to upper 70s as we move through the rest of the forecast period.
Would you be here tomorrow, though, Lance, if you won the lottery tonight?
No, probably not. No, no.
And you,
no.
Frank?
I'd be gone.
That's right. Be on vacation.
They're still here. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 5 a.m. and have a great and safe tomorrow.